Middle-earth, home to many diverse races, from wizards to hobbits, goblins to dwarves, orcs to elves. Many stories have been created and developed in the world of Tolkien. To delve into the world, you can start here with DagoraC TV.
Once a predecessor of the Sturish breed of hobbits, Smeagol lived his early life with his extended family under a matriarch, which was led by his grandmother. Around the year 3rd Age 2463, Smeagol became the fourth bearer of the One Ring. How he got this was, him and his cousin Deagol went fishing on his birthday in the Gladden Fields north of the mountains. Deagol found the ring after being pulled into the river by a large fish. Smeagol was immediately attracted to the ring's power and demanded it as a birthday present. When Deagol refused, Smeagol went into a barbaric rage and strangled his cousin to death and took the One Ring. Smeagol was quickly taken by the ring and banished by the people of his village, including his grandmother. Smeagol found a cave in the Misty Mountains to live in, around the year 3rd Age 2470. The ring twisted the hobbit's body and mind and prolonged his life beyond natural years, calling it his birthday present or my precious. Smeagol had lived under the Misty Mountains for over 400 years. He lived off blind fish, bats, goblins when he could get them, and he was later repulsed by hobbit and elvish food. During the centuries under the ring's power, Gollum developed a multiple identity disorder, with Smeagol being his good side. Gollum, his bad personality, was a slave to the ring and would kill anyone who tried to take it. Later on, Samwise Gamgee named the two personalities Slinker and Stinker. In July 3rd Age 2941, during the quest for Erebor, Bilbo Baggins stumbled in the cave of which he lived. During a quarrel with a goblin, Gollum lost the ring, though it is better to say the ring abandoned Gollum and it was later clear it had a will of its own. After the famous game of riddles with Bilbo Baggins, Gollum plotted to kill Bilbo, and when he looked for his precious, he realised it was lost. During his panic, Gollum realised the answer to Bilbo's final question, "What is in my pocket?" He then broke into a rage and searched to kill Bilbo. Bilbo inadvertently found the ring's power of invisibility and followed Gollum to the cave's entrance. When Gollum realised the hobbit got away, he screamed,
"Baggins! Thief! Curse it and crush it! We'll hate it forever!"
A few years after, Gollum left the Misty Mountains in search for the ring, but his trail was cold. He went south to Mordor, where all evil was being drawn to at the time. Gollum found the secret stair at Minas Morgul and survived an encounter with Shelob the Spider. He was captured in Mordor by a pack of orcs and put into the dungeons of Barad-dûr, and after intense torture, he gave in to Sauron where the ring was. Gollum was strangely freed and caught shortly by Aragorn after a question by Gandalf, as they were searching to see info about the One Ring. Gandalf placed him in the dungeons of the Sylvan Elves under the Mirkwood Kingdom of the Elven King Thranduil. Assisted by orcs, Gollum escaped and went to travel for the Shire. He passed through Moria and couldn't pass through the East Gate. Seemingly, he waited and got lucky when the Fellowship passed through. He may have been told by Saruman's spy, who was in Moria at the time, who had the ring, or perhaps sensed its presence. Gollum met the Fellowship in Moria and was spotted by Frodo several times. After Gandalf fell to the Balrog on 3rd Age 3019, Gollum continued to follow the remaining members of the Fellowship. It is unknown how he passed the bridge of Khazad-dûm, but he was in Lorien without the Fellowship's knowing. Gollum followed the boats down the River Anduin by floating on a log, and followed Frodo and Sam across the hills of Imin Muil. He had a confrontation with Sam, biting him and nearly strangling him to death, but subdued when Frodo threatened to kill him with Sting. Gollum obviously recognised the blade, as he was once threatened to it by Bilbo. Frodo tied Gollum with an elvish rope and used it as a leash, but the rope caused harm to Gollum's skin by the slightest touch. Taking pity, Frodo had made Gollum swear to help them and took the leash off him. Gollum swore to the oath by the precious itself. The unlikely company was guided to the Black Gate, but Gollum spoke of another entrance after seeing it was heavily guarded. It was revealed here that Gollum had a fear of the sun and the moon after so many years in caves, naming them Whiteface and Yellowface. Frodo's kindness brought out the Smeagol, Slinker personality, and Gollum made some effect to maintain his oath. Frodo and Gollum had a strange bond as they were both ring bearers. Frodo and Sam was caught by Faramir, and after Frodo allowed Faramir to take Gollum, the Gollum personality completely took over. When Faramir found out that Gollum was going to take them to Cirith Ungol after he agreed to release them, he warned them of that evil place. The company passed through the Morgul Vale and began climbing the stairs. In the borders of the Mountains of the Shadow, Gollum met with Shelob the Spider. His plan was to give the pair to Shelob and take the One Ring. Gollum returned when the pair was asleep. Gollum began patting Frodo's hair while Frodo was sleeping, and was nearly drove to repent. However, Sam woke up and spoke harshly to Gollum, and all hope of repentance was lost. Gollum followed through with his plan and took the pair to Shelob's lair. Sam and Frodo were able to escape, and Gollum found them on the slopes of Mount Doom, seeking to attack and take the ring. Gollum attacked, but failed to take the ring. Sam beat Gollum to a pulp and showed mercy as he did not deal the final blow. Moments later, Frodo was stood at the edge of the cracks of Mount Doom, but unwillingly to destroy it, put it on, and took it for himself. Then Gollum attacked the hobbits again. Gollum knocked Sam out with a rock, whilst Frodo was invisible. But Gollum was able to track his footprints and jumped on Frodo. The two fought, and finally Gollum bit off Frodo's finger with the ring on it. Gollum held the ring, lost his balance in the dance of joy, and fell into the lava, killing himself with the ring. The second longest ring bearer in the history of Middle-earth had fallen. In the next chapter of the Middle-earth lore series, we follow through the great enemy, the necromancer of Dol Guldur, the shapeshifter, Sauron.